Okay, so in today's video, I'm gonna go over the concept of installing interior French doors with an electronic lock. So when we first moved into our house, one of the first things that I really wanted to do was to remove these rather awkward columns and close off the space. I mean, this cannot be load bearing, right? I want to take these out. I don't like these. Now, I don't know about you, but I always found this concept of having a living room and a den in American houses to be rather confusing. I mean, don't they basically fill the same function, these rooms? One room tend to be used a lot and then one room tend to go unused. I really believe in really using the space that you have and create more workspaces, especially when you work from home. So, what we want to do is to close this room off, make it more private, and turn it into Matt's office. So, to keep it private while letting some air through, installing French doors made a lot of sense. Currently it has this opening, these lights on top and these columns here. You first need to remove these columns. I don't think there's anything load-bearing in here, but you never know. Okay, let me pause myself right there. So if you look at the structure critically, it should be pretty obvious that in this situation, the columns are not load-bearing. I mean, there's a window above. It just wouldn't make any sense. Okay, Lynn, continue. And then install this French door that has the casings around it. But before getting started, I figured it would be interesting to call some contractors in the area and see what would they charge for a job like this. So I called 6 different carpenters at 11 a.m. on a Thursday. And not a single person picked up. Which really made me think, like, if you are somewhat handy, then why would you deal with other people? Why would you deal with their timelines and their extra cost? Now, this is not a very difficult job. It is, however, a little bit annoying and a little finicky, and it's helpful at times to have another pair of hands. So I'm no expert at all. I'm just gonna go over how we did this and what you may encounter if you are planning on doing something similar. So first of all, the cost. Now, I was looking for the cheapest French doors I could find out of solid wood. So I found this 48-inch one for around $400. I also picked up an electronic lock and inactive door handles for $150. And basically the concept for the lock is to keep prying hands away from this space, which is gonna have a lot of expensive photography equipment and electronic stuff, and just want to be able to keep it locked. Then add some framing lumber, molding, MDF, accessories, paint, and you're probably looking at around $700. Now, I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that a contractor would probably charge $2,000–3,000 around there. So you can definitely save quite a bit of money doing this job yourself. Now, my situation may be slightly different from yours. This is what we had to deal with. A space with transom windows on top and columns on the sides. I mean, you may have a wall to open up, or you have a finished space that is already framed for a door, or you just have to replace an old door for a new door. I don't know, every situation is a little different. Yes. So first up was building the frames for the sides of the door. Now, I partnered with WD-40 on this video, and they of course sell a range of products for the home and the shop, and I've worked with them before because I like their stuff. I mean, no matter whether you are getting windows unstuck or taking care of your outdoor equipment, you'll find a use for them. Today I thought I would take the opportunity to clean up my saw blades before cutting into the wood. You know, when you use your saw blades over time, there's gunk and sap in the wood and it gets on the blades over time. Well, one way to extend the life of the blade is to use the WD-40 Specialist Cleaner and Degreaser. Here I'm applying it with an old brush. And you can use this product on any metal blades. It's actually a water-based formula and safe to use on multiple surfaces, including sensitive metals like copper, aluminum, and chrome. I must say, this gives you the best feeling. You are taking care of your things instead of running out and getting a new blade. You're giving your old one a longer life. So I would encourage you guys to check out the new WD-40 product line, as they have a bunch of products that are helpful for the home and the shop. And I want to thank them for supporting my work so I can make videos like this for you guys. Now let's get back to the project. So here are sections built for both sides of the French doors to go on. This is because the span is what? 82.5 inches overall, and the door only measures 49.5. So this is 2x6s. This in the middle here is just for support. I made one of them a 1/4 inch lower than the other one because the wall or the where the transom is, it's not level, of course. The next step here was removing the columns. Now, columns like these tend to not be load-bearing, but of course you never know. And you may want to check with a structural engineer just to be on the safe side. And I placed these frames in the doorway just to be overly cautious. I was also wondering what the floor was going to look like underneath. Obviously they put the columns in first and then they did the floor around it. It won't matter because we're going to cover that up anyway. But that was kind of interesting. And these, I was wondering what this is. This is some pretty hard material here. Really heavy. I was picturing, I was really thinking this is like cement. Kind of a concrete product. A little bit surprised about that. I thought it would be more like a plaster, like a lighter product, but it's not. Now, I have never worked with installing an interior door before. I have installed an exterior door, which is structured differently because it has casement all around, whereas the interior door has nothing on the bottom. So it's a little floppier, especially when you have two doors like this. I had to cut off 1 inch, which was the maximum you could cut off. So, got the door standing up here now, and I'm gonna try to bring it in and secure it in place without it getting all weird.
I'm gonna try to kind of...
Okay, I'm gonna hit pause right here. This is where you need a second pair of hands. This is where it's a little annoying, but the concept is simple. You position the door in the frame, add shims to square it up, and then screw through the shims to add the casement to the framing. So we install the doors here, and I guess the one tricky part is lining them up correctly so that the gap in between here is even throughout. Now, if you have the luxury of space like here where you can build this yourself, it's easier if you make everything just a touch undersized and then use shims to get everything just right so you're not squeezing it into place. Okay, next time for the lock. So we decided to go with an electronic lock, which is definitely more expensive than a regular lock. However, that way you don't have to carry around a key, which makes a lot of sense inside the house. Installing a lock is pretty straightforward. You just take your time, measure. I drilled the center of the hole 37 inches off the ground. And like always when you do this, it's nice to start on the one side and then complete the cut on the other side to get a clean cut. Also, make sure you have the correct hole saw size. I mistakenly used a hole saw that was just a touch too big for the small hole, which worked out fine. It wasn't a big deal, but just, you know, be aware of the sizes there. Installing an electronic lock is really not a big deal. You just drill holes to fit the unit through and chisel out space for the little plate. And then you connect the wires with the battery and put on the cover. I also installed one of these locks on the inside at the top to hold the one door in place so you can lock the other one, as well as the dummy handles on the other side. Mostly for looks, but also so there's something to hold on to if you want to open the other door. Now, I haven't decided exactly how I want to finish these. First I was debating about whether to put like windows on the sides, but now I'm thinking I might just go for MDF, which paints really nicely, and then kind of add molding all around. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And then of course paint everything. So this will be Matt's office, which is kind of a compromise because we're working on this little shed here, which will become my small shop and office. And then he needs a private space as well. But eventually we are planning on finishing the space above the garage, and then all the stuff in here, all this tinker stuff, the electronic stuff, photography equipment, that will all go upstairs over there then. And then I would like to install a Murphy bed in this space and create more of a guest room slash reading room. So you have this kind of public slash private space, which I think will work out really well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, anything that I wasn't clear about in the video. Yeah, otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.